All right, this is a video for Lacey's crack filled trailer, which is this right here. It is a pintle hitch, normal setup there. I checked the coolant, which is this guy right here. It's plumb full. This is our fuel tank. It's going to be diesel fuel only. You can tell how full it is by the bubble here. So it's about just under half full. And then any other fluid wise, like in there, we don't have to deal with. So to start, this is how it's set up, is how you tow it. So you have this hose right here strapped down. This handle piece right here is pinned in and locked in so that this guy can't go anywhere, and the hose will sit on the outside of the handle, which sits right in that notch. And then we got one more strap here. This portion right here actually swings out. So if you loosen this up and slide this bar up, that makes the arm go free and it can swing out. And when you're towing it, it's all the way down. And you tighten this up. Box here is locked and closed because this can open up. So you don't want this flapping as you're driving. So lock that up. This is your hole to fill material. There's 2 pins on each side. Make sure that is secure, because if you still have some hot material in here and we don't have this pin and we get in an accident, this fucker flips open and we got hot shit spewing out. So making sure that's locked up tight. This shaft right here isn't that important to be open or closed. It's just an air vent for the tank itself. So that is how it needs to be towed, and then I will show you guys how to heat it up. So I left everything the same so far. The only thing I did was I took the wand out and stuck it in the shaft, but I actually left this still there so it's not swinging out at a weird angle, especially if you're like in the road or a parking lot near equipment, things like that. So I just stuck the wand and I put it into here, if you can kind of see that. This is another vent that just goes straight into the tank. This slot right here actually closes, so when you are heating it up, you're gonna angle it down and then close that, and then there's a pin right here that can fit into that slot. So you'll just slot that in and it'll hold this in and it'll kind of retain some of the heat, because what you're trying to do is heat up the tip of this wand, which I'll show you. You're trying to heat all that up because the electrical system from the hose only heats up to about like here or so. So all this metal right here will stay cold. So there's 2 ways to heat this up. One's in the box, 2's with the torch. Now when we do torch it, we try not to torch up in here because this stuff will melt and get fucked up. I'm actually gonna tighten that. Okay, but this is the main thing that you gotta torch up. Now you can see these notches here. You can actually take a crescent wrench and take this whole thing off and torch the hell out of it, and then also torch the end piece right here, because there's going to be material stuck right up in here that'll clog you up. So this is the main component that we usually have troubles with on getting heated up, getting it cleared out so that material will actually flow through. Now how to start it, I'll show you guys how to start it real quick. All the dials are set to what it needs to be temperature wise for the material. If you have questions, there's literally a walkthrough of how to do it. But simply, you're gonna turn the key on. You're gonna let it think a couple seconds, and then it says waiting to start. You're gonna hit auto, run. Then it's gonna think for a couple seconds, and then it's just gonna fire up. say these lights turn on, and then your burner light will turn on. If your burner like this is off, the machine's not doing anything. No heating is happening. So you have to make sure this switch is on and that light is on. That means it's starting to actively heat things up. So I'll turn this off so you guys can hear me talk. And that's literally how you turn it off. You literally just, and you're good. Okay, while it's heating up, this mixer button right here, there are blades inside the tank that'll rotate and mix. You can leave that on. It doesn't matter if it's off or in reverse. It just reverses the direction. Instead of clockwise, it'll be counterclockwise. But you can leave that on. The mixer isn't going to turn at all until you're at 275 degrees here. When the material reaches 275, it'll be set to forward. So you can't keep it off in the meantime, and it'll go. So this dial, once it says 275, which is about here, then it'll start mixing it in there. Now, when you're done, when you're all done, this right here says pump and pump reverse. The trigger on the gun pumps the material out of the tank and through the wand. When you're done, you're gonna hit this reverse and you're gonna hold it for 2 minutes. What that does is it sucks all this material up the line all the way through and puts it back into the box. That way we have minimal leakage as we're driving, and when you start up again the next time, there's not going to be so much blockage where everything's flowing down to the end there. So make sure you put this on and hold it there for 2 minutes. Okay, getting started. These guys right here, pull these out. Okay. You can look inside here. You can see there's a decent amount of material still in here. Depending on how much you guys are doing, you're gonna need more. When you start and if everything is cold, you can just toss blocks in. Okay. Get as many blocks in as you need, and then let it heat up. It'll start agitating these blades once it hits 275. When this fucker is super hot, what you're gonna do is anytime you're operating this or near this, eye protection, gloves, and even if possible, long sleeve shirts or a sweatshirt or something. Because there's a lot of components on this thing that are gonna be hot. Even like this pipe right here, this hose gets pretty warm. So when you load stuff, you see how this is kind of notched in a square? You can fit 2 blocks on here. Then you're gonna grab this handle or just the bottom of this. You're gonna push this up, and that's how you're gonna add blocks when everything's melted. If you have this open and you just launch a block into here, well, that's liquid. It's gonna splash and it's gonna cascade out and go. Okay, so open, add your blocks, close it. Boom. Cool. So that's how you start. It's where you add material to start and also add material as you guys are going, so that heats up. Now, so let's say, for example, that thing has been heating up in there the whole time. Everything's ready to go. This right here is the trigger to go. This is your safety. So if you pop that safety on, there. So pop the safety on, trigger doesn't go in at all. Pop it off, now it can click. So when you're doing this, right, you're always going to want to keep this angle. See how the puck is flat? Because when you're dragging it on the ground, if you're too high down this way or too high in the air, you're not going to get an even amount of material spread out. That puck is designed to whatever you push out, it's gonna smooth it out for you. So you have to keep that thing flat. If you're walking down a road or going to multiple areas, once you end a patch, right, you crack fill an area, keep the puck on the ground. If you pick it up like this and you start walking around, it's gonna be dripping strings of that crack fill shit. And it's gonna look messy, it gets all over the place, it doesn't look good. If you're having troubles getting material out, this is your flow pump. Right now, it should be pretty low to start. Unless this fucker just doesn't work anymore. Oh, I see what they did. They jimmied with this guy right here. Sorry. Anyways, I'll mess with that. The best way to get material out of there, if there's just a little bit clogged in, we heated everything up, you can increase the material flow to the max so that there's a lot of pressure pushing everything out. Then you're just gonna feather the trigger, just on, off, on, off, on, off. And it's gonna force its way out and you'll hear just like a where it spits out the cold stuff. And then you guys are ready to rock and roll. If you guys are using pour pots, you got your material filled up, this guy can flip open and you can fill material from here. This is the bottom of the actual tank. It's not down there, it's kind of up here. So you can pour pot out of that guy also. You're just gonna have to heat it up so it can get moving. If you have any questions, let me know, but that pretty much covers everything that you guys are gonna deal with. So safety, obviously, if you get this shit on you, douse it with water, do not wipe it. If it gets on your hand and you instinctively wipe at it, instead of being just like a dot, it's gonna be like a whole surface area because you're gonna be smearing it. So if it does get on you, your face, whatever, take a water bottle, hit your face, and then let it cool off, and then you can peel it off. But if you're wearing your proper PPE, I always wear long sleeve just because you start touching some of these stuff, like the hoses and the wand, stuff gets really hot, especially with how long it's going. To fully heat up the unit and get it going, it takes about 2 hours. So if you guys have any prep time or anything like that, or you're doing something in the meantime, just fire this up and let it go, because it takes a long time to heat up. But once it's good for until you guys are done. When you're driving, DOT law is you cannot drive with any material over 212 degrees, because that means it's going to be a liquid. Anything below that, it's going to be hardened up. So to alleviate that, you can open this vent all the way like they did. You can open up the top there. You can open this guy, and you're gonna have to let it sit for a little bit. So that's the DOT law. Now, if you guys don't have any material in here and you used it all up and you guys are good, it's been cooling off for a while, go ahead. I'll leave that up to your discretion. The law is anything over 212 degrees, it's still a liquid, can't drive it. And I think that wraps up everything. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. My phone number is 206-867-3549. Thank you.